G'day, legends! I can't believe that this conversation is still going, but it seems to be a thing that the MMA community seems to be really getting behind, very excited by. And that is the throwaway line that Donald Trump made about UFC White House. That's right, to celebrate America's 250th declaration of the signing of the independence, I believe it is. I'm Australian, okay? I don't need to know every bit of American history. But I believe that's what the 250 is about. Donald Trump wants to, I don't know, Dana White's going to have to figure it out, put an octagon in the White House and put together a UFC card. Well, the other day on the live stream, we memed about this for about 2 hours. We had a great time just laughing about it and imagining what this UFC live card would be like. But as I've said before, not everyone watches the live streams. Only about 30 people watch the live streams. And maybe, 100, 200, 500 of you will end up watching this video. So I thought we're going to go through that concept of the most amazing UFC White House card you could ever imagine and explain what we came up with in today's video. This is going to be the card of cards. Welcome to 2026 UFC White House. Somehow Dana White is going to figure it out and he is going to Somehow Dana White is going to figure this out and he is going to just drop an octagon into the lawn of the UFC White House, and we are going to start to build the card and the atmosphere of everything that is going to be happening tonight at UFC White House. There you can see the commentary desk is being set up. We're going to have commentators. We're going to have the ring girls. I'm going to present to you the fight night card. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. Now, we've got to set the scene. We've got to set the atmosphere for what is going on. So, obviously, some of Donald Trump's biggest friends and supporters will be invited to the White House. It's January 6th, guy. He's going to be in the crowd, 100%. He's going to be in the crowd. Obviously, he's going to be in the crowd. He's a massive, massive fan. There is also going to be a lot on the line for the entire card because if some of the invitees to this card do not win their fights, then it's back over the border with them. It's time for the Mexicans to really start paying for all the glazing that the UFC has been giving them over the last couple of years. And this is going to be not only the Americans' night of night, but the Mexicans' night of night as well. For every Mexican that competes on this card, you will be getting a green card if you actually win your fight. And if you lose, it's off into the ICE patrol van. Back over the border you go. We're going to have ICE there on the side of the cage. Instead of ambulances on the side of the octagon like they had in the old days, it's just going to be a bunch of ICE vans lined up ready to go. And obviously, what is a UFC White House event without Don Fry and his big cigar, just hanging out in the back row as well, just enjoying the atmosphere. Yeah, now, to build it up, obviously, we need to have some security there because we're going to be at the White House and, there needs to be the United States Marines. They're going to be scattered about the place. They're going to be everywhere. Just to add to a little bit of the atmosphere, I mean, you can't be letting some of the fighters jump out of the cage and get very close to the White House. Yeah, that can't be happening at all. So, the Marines are going to be scattered about the place. They are obviously adding to the ambiance of what is going to be going on here. We're going to need a very select and special group of commentary team. And I don't think we can have our regular commentators. No, what we have decided with on the live stream is that we're going to have Chael Sonnen on the desk. The absolute American legend, Chael Sonnen, the baddest man from West Lynn, Oregon, the biggest arms on the planet, undefeated ex-UFC fighter, Chael Sonnen, obviously has to be on the commentary team. And I think one of the most American commentators that we could come up with as well, Nate the Bloody Train, man. Nate the Bloody Train commentating the UFC right here in front of Donald Trump. Yeah, brother. And by special request of the live chat, don't ask me why I chat, but Nick Fuentes as well. Nick, the chat demanded to have Nick Fuentes as well. So Nick Fuentes is going to be there as well. Now, we got to lock in. We got to really lock in on the cage, in the octagon, where the actual fights and the competition will be happening. Firstly, the referee for this very, very special event, none other than Mr. Stone Cold Steve Austin himself, just chugging on beers, is going to be our referee. We don't want Mark Early Stoppages Goddard in there, and we don't want Herb Dean in there either. He's a traitor. He's been over at one championship enjoying Thailand too much. No, we're keeping it American themed, baby. USA. Yeah, and obviously Stone Cold Steve Austin and his beers is going to know when a fighter has had enough. They'll have had enough when he tells them he's had enough, all right? Also, the cut man that is going to be handling the fighters before they get into the cage, David Bloody Goggins. That's right, David Goggins is going to be the cut man, making sure that they're all oiled up, Vaselined up, that they've got their cup in, that they've got their gloves tied on properly. David Goggins is the man for the job. You know, if they get cut during the fight, he's going to go in there with a whole handful of Vaseline and just throw it away and say, you're still in this fight. Who's going to carry the boats? This fight's going to get done. You know, David Goggins, he's going in there with just duct tape. Whatever is cut open, whatever's hurt on these guys, he's just going to be duct taping them back up like he did with his shattered ankles during O Week or whatever it says in his book. David Goggins, perfect man for the job. Now, the ring announcer, very, very, very important job. This really does set the mood for the entire night, does the ring announcer. So who is the ring announcer going to be? Well, I think on an American night of nights, it takes probably the biggest American voice in the MMA fan community to get the American fans riled up. And that will be none other than bloody Peaches and Creamville himself. Peaches and Creamville. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Peaches and Creamville, presenting the GOAT of MMA in 2025. Lucas Tracy is going to be the best ring announcer for the job. And of course, we need a ring girl. Of course we need a ring girl. And it should be one of the most American-based ring girls we could think of for this. Mackenzie Dern. Oh, Mackenzie Dern. Can you think of a better ring girl than Mackenzie Dern for UFC White House? Now, it depends. Does she want to be Brazilian Mackenzie Dern? Does she want to be Mexican Mackenzie Dern? Let me tell you this, Mackenzie, all right? You're going to be putting that accent away that you only picked up 3 years ago. Otherwise, you'll be going into the ice van. I want to hear that original Mackenzie Dern accent. That pre-I'm Brazilian Mackenzie Dern accent, yeah? Back when you were just a wholesome American girl. That's the Mackenzie Dern that we want carrying the sign around. And of course, to really set the atmosphere, you need the right walkout music for the fighters. All the fighters will be walking out to Kanye West. And Kanye is the perfect one to handle the music and the choreography for the night. Kanye, I mean, you can walk out to all of the lights, you know. You can walk out to Champion, you know. There are so many Kanye songs that just go without saying. They go without saying, guys. They go without saying. All right, we don't need to say all the Kanye songs, but I tell you, Kanye's got some absolute, but harder, better, faster, stronger. You know, we don't need to go through the entire list, you know. You can come out to the one of the verses from Forever. That one can go in there as well. There's so many good Kanye songs. We don't need to list them all down in the comments section, chat. We don't need to list them all down in the comments section. Now, what about the actual fights themselves? Who's going to be fighting on UFC Fight Night White House? Well, to kick off the prelims, I think we have no other than my arch nemesis on the channel, Joe Salty Man Pyfer. I think Joe Salty Man Pyfer is the perfect one to chuck on the prelims. So Joe Pyfer, Salty Man, is going on the prelims, and he's going to be going in there against none other than Bot Nickel. Bot Nickel versus Joe Pyfer. Listen, Bot, you're never going to be getting to the Khamzat Chimaev level, all right? I know that you think you versus Khamzat Chimaev is the super fight of the future. Not going to happen. In fact, I think I'm turning the camera off Pyfer. I think he gets you out of there in one when he lands that big meaty hook on that quitter's chin. So Joe Pyfer, he's the first one up. Next fight up is going to be the first fight on the main card, and walking out to Kanye West is none other than our boy Bryce Mitchell. There's Bryce and Kanye walking out together. Who knows what song they're going to walk out together with? Doesn't matter. We don't need to say it in the chat. Bryce Mitchell's going to be walking out. Bryce Mitchell is going to be fighting yet another wrestler and a grappler. This is a great matchup that the live chat have cooked up. Bryce Mitchell versus Chewy Chihuihuis. Oh, that was a bad Chihuihuis. I'm losing my voice. Bryce Mitchell versus Chihuihuis. That was a horrible Chihuahua. Let me go again. Chihuihuis. That's better. That's a redemption. I should cut that out and voice clip it over the other one, but I'm not going to. Yeah, Bryce Mitchell versus Chihuihuis. Again, the Ice Van sirens are going to be flashing. They're going to be watching this one very closely on the main card. Maybe there were some deportations earlier in the prelims. Who knows? Maybe everyone got their green card and the Ice Van is just itching to get in there and send Chihuihuis back over the border. We'll find out. Next fight up on the pay-per-view is going to be big old Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler's the next one. How do you have a UFC White House card without Michael Chandler? How do you do that? Versus rematch, Justin Gaethje. Michael Chandler versus Justin Gaethje, an all-American, all-out slugfest. All-American, all-out slugfest. Obviously, you could have any of the lightweights on there. You could have the Poiriers, he'll be retired by then. You could have the Holloways, like any of those classic lightweight fighters that you know is just going to give you a stand and bang war. We're just going to do Chandler versus Gaethje for no reason other than it was a fun first scrap and we need to do it again. I mean, it's the UFC White House. You got to have a fun scrap. Next one up is another rematch, an all-American rematch. Kevin Holland is going to be going in there against none other than Buckley. This fight actually makes sense to really happen like today. This could just get booked straight away. Kevin Holland versus Buckley. But why the hell not? Why the hell not? Next one up in the all-American matchmaking is Kamaru Usman. You know Marty Fake Newsman would love to be on this one. And we're going to be going up a weight class. We're going to be having yet another adventure up a weight class. Why the hell not? Against someone else that needs their jaw broken these days. Kamaru Usman versus Sean Strickland. This is a sneaky good matchup. Dude, Kamaru never lost it. I know he's 3 down recently. I know he got the 1 win over Buckley, but the way that Kamaru looked, 10 days notice against Chimaev, and the way that Sean Strickland doesn't like to really commit to any shots anymore, lets Usman work. This is a tasty fight, this one, bro. Real tasty fight. Sleeper of a fight. I'm going to move myself down here in front of the Marines so we can see the next matchup. I'll just squish myself down here on the commentary team underneath Chael, Nate the Trainer, Quintez. Down I go there. That's beautiful stuff. All right, excellent. You love to see it. Main event time. Main event time. All-American main event. The All-American Corey Sandhagen. Beakers and test tubes, man. I mean, I would love to fight in front of Donald Trump and show him some new techniques that I've been working on. Corey Sandhagen, next one up with probably the most American in the UFC. Can't wait to hear his post-fight speech when he gets the big W. Championship fight. Newly American immigrant, assimilates, learns the language, Christian, just everything you're looking for in what America wants to be known for and be proud of. Perfect, like coming over, getting a green card, assimilating into the culture, loving America, talking about how it helped build a better life for your future and for your future generations. Merab Dvalishvili, he is the American champ of today. Hardworking, gritty, blue-collar worker, did everything the right way, loves the big Don. This is UFC White House 2026. People are going crazy. You know, you got to finish it off. There's bloody fireworks going off everywhere. People are having a great bloody time. There's fireworks all over the place. It's insanity. It's madness. There's probably a flyover from the Marines or that's the noise of the helicopter. That's the noise of the helicopter as it does a flyover at the end of each fight. Lucas Tracy is calling out the next fighter. It's a bloody great time. Mackenzie Dern is showing off that 1 round sign just exquisitely. Maybe Chihuihuis is getting deported. Maybe he's getting a green card. Nick Fuentes is absolutely hating some of the matchups. Nate the Train is trying to calm him down. Chael is just rambling about whatever the hell is going off. Kanye's getting the entire crowd riled up. And Joe Pyfer's getting sent home crying. It is the pinnacle of MMA meets hardcore Americanism. Right here, UFC White House 2026. This was a hell of a stream, and now you guys know what the hell we have been joking about. That's it. That's today's video. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed it. We absolutely loved making this one, boys. So if this is your first time here, g'day and welcome. My name's Dougie. I make an MMA video every single day of the week. And I try and go live at least 3 times a week, although generally it's about every single day. You want to know when a video drops, you want to know when I go live, that is what the subscription button and the notification bell is for, so you know when all that happens. Let me know down there in the comments if you could only walk out to one Kanye West song. Let me know down there in the comments, what would you want your fighter nickname to be for Lucas Tracy to shout you out as? Let me know that down there in the comments. If this is your first, we've done that. Or just leave a like. And if you're one of the paying members of the channel, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Your names are up on the next slide. Until then, I'll see you on the next video. Have a good day. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.